Please join me in welcoming Landon Taylor, CEO of Base 11.
Thank you.
Enjoy. Awesome.
Thank you. Well, good afternoon. Okay, good afternoon. All right. Well, the students you just saw in that video are the future innovators of California. And because California is always on the lead, I would say the future innovators in our country. I'm so excited to be here with you this afternoon because I love the theme of this conference, Transforming California. Because just 10 years ago, while serving as a senior exec at First American Corporation, which is located right here in Orange County, I came up with the following prediction. Human development will prove to be the industrial revolution of the 21st century. Think about that. And 3 years ago, my co-founders and I decided that we would step up and be a part of that revolution by launching Base 11. And for those of you who don't know much about us, Base 11, as you heard, is a nonprofit STEM workforce and entrepreneur development company. And we're out to solve two of this country's most significant challenges. One, the growing STEM talent pipeline crisis that's being fueled by the underrepresentation of women and ethnic minorities. And two, the absence of a sustainable middle class. And our approach to solving both of those is to transform high potential, low resource students, like you saw in the video, into the STEM trained talent that industry and our country so desperately needs. Our approach to doing it is to form interconnected, strategically integrated partnerships between the stakeholders, industry, academia, and philanthropy, for the distinct purpose of preparing these students for a pathway into what we call the Base 11 Victory Circle, which is defined by a student either one, joining a four-year university studying a STEM major, number two, getting hired for a high-paid STEM job, or three, launching their own STEM-related enterprise. Hit one of those goals, and they've reached the Victory Circle. And I'd love to share with you a couple of examples of transformation, student transformation that's been going on. This is Paul Grad. He came to us when he was a community college student at West LA. And when he came to us, he had no confidence. He didn't think that a STEM career at Metro LA would be possible for him. Because one of the challenges, or the largest barriers faced by underserved students is one, a lack of awareness that an engineering degree or engineering job is even possible. Number two, a lack of belief that they could do it. And number three, a lack of access to the resources that are needed for them to be successful. Well, when Paul came to us, he was able to get into one of our flagship programs, our partnership with Caltech University, where he was able to be a part of an 8-week on-campus paid residency program paired up with a PhD student. And at the end of the 8 weeks, they created a capstone project that they presented. He was transformed. At the end of that, not only did he have the confidence to know that he could go on to be a computer scientist, but he had the skill set and the credibility where he got recruited, and now he is at UC Irvine studying computer science. Alina, yes, round of applause. Alina, community college student, dad said, forget about being an engineer. We just want you to be a nurse. Well, nursing is fine, that's a great career, but she said, forget that, I want to be an engineer. So she got involved, and I'd like to share with you that not only did she complete the program, but she now says she's going to go on and get her PhD. And Hugo came to this country 5 years ago, and when he came here, he could not speak English, just 5 years ago. He had this dream to become a NASA space engineer. He came to us when he was at Orange Coast Community College. He got involved in our program at USC's engineering school. And this last year, he got a full ride scholarship to the engineering school at USC. And he's well on his way, yes. And he's well on his way now to becoming that NASA space engineer. The reason why it's so critical for us to do this, you see this slide. I pulled this from a New York Times article about a month ago, and it's the problem on one slide. And it shows that the gap between the haves and the have-nots is only getting wider. And as you can see now, the income earning increase is only happening at the highest affluent level. and the middle income is going down. If we don't change this, we won't have the employee base in California. Companies will move out, and we'll have a challenge. So what do we need to do about it? Base 11 is focused on this solution, creating a STEM career accelerator model where we're bringing industry together with academia and putting students on a pathway for them to be ready for those 21st century jobs that you've been talking about here in order to build infrastructure. The core component of the model is us building ecosystems with all the key stakeholders in mind, and anchored in those ecosystems is an innovation center. I was happy to hear that there's an innovation center at Metro LA. That's a great example of what we need. In those innovation centers, students get the opportunity to get trained on 21st century in-demand skills that the greatest employers are looking for. An example of that is what we're doing at UCI in the Autonomous Systems Engineering Academy, where university students, community college, all the way down to high school seniors are learning how to build a fully functional autonomous system drone from scratch. Learning Arduino, learning coding, learning engineering design. And what's awesome about it is that we have an industry partnership with Dassault Systems. Many of you, I'm sure, are familiar with Dassault. Their engineering design platform is the most used worldwide. As you can see, they're now being prepared, these students, to be sought after by over 12 industry segments. And what industry do you see at the top? Transportation and mobility. So those skills that they're learning, when they come out on the other side, they're ready to go to work in your industry. And that's what's pretty phenomenal. What's our BHAG? Our big, hairy, audacious goal is to help 11,000 students. That's right, write that one down, BHAG, use that when you go back to the office. Big, hairy, audacious goal is to get 11,000 students through this ecosystem. You see, high school, community college, into the Innovation Center, and out to those 3 destinations at the bottom. For your university, get a job, and being able to go on to become a STEM entrepreneur. This is where we are located so far: Northern California, Southern, Phoenix, Arizona, and Philadelphia. And next week I'm flying to Kansas City, where we've been asked by the STEM ecosystems across the country, 54 ecosystems coming together saying, please share your model with us. And I think as a result, we'll hit that goal. I'd like to close my time with you with a challenge question and a call to action. Here's my challenge question. What could you do that would transform California, but also potentially be one of the most greatest contributors to making sure this great country stays on the top of innovation for the next 100 years? I would like to share my answer to that, and that is to have you join the STEM revolution. And what that means is for you to launch a proactive STEM talent development strategy that has diversity and inclusion at its heart. And as a result of that, if we can do it together, 2 things will happen. One, as Phil Washington mentioned, we will make sure that Southern California is the place that is the place for innovation and where people come for the right talent. But number 2, we'll build a sustainable middle class in America made up of all Americans. Thank you.